Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a scene for Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. And this scene we find, Robin at least at the Cubs' den. Um, I think some of the kinfolk have given her an extra blanket or something that she's wrapped around her coat just to stay a little bit warm because she always seems to be freezing, especially since most of the time she's in Hamid. And yeah, she's sitting there. Probably leaning against a nearby tree. It actually has like a few pieces of paper in front of her and a pen, and she's sucking on like the end of the pen. I'm thinking about stuff. Who knows? And yeah, it's there that we begin the scene.
A figure approaches the cub den, and it is Altani. He is, as always, well dressed, well manicured, and yeah, he basically just kind of walks up and Robin has obviously seen him around as um, part of their kind of like lessons, but she would know that he basically just keeps himself to himself and doesn't really interact with the other cubs very much.
Mhm. Yeah, Robin notices Altani. Um, and she seems to be a bit stuck in whatever she was doing. And as she notices the fellow cub, she kind of waves and smiles. Not sure if he would answer, but yeah.
Upon being waved and smiled at, you see Altani stiffen slightly, and he comes over and basically literally just sits on the ground and then lies down on his back. Is there anything I can help you with, Clayray?
Uh, that seriously, I thought was only for like higher ranks, like Cletus and stuff. So could you just call me Robin and don't do that?
I'm Omega of the Cub Pack by order of the Truth Catcher, Robin Ray. This is
Yeah,
only appropriate.
I don't like it very much, and I really doubt you like it very much. So would you like some coffee? As she kind of presents like a thermos flask.
Altani kind of sits up at this point. It's very clear like how weird and awkward it is. I mean, submission in Hamid is always awkward. And yeah, he just sits up. I'm quite alright. Robin Clayray. Is there anything I can help you with?
Um, well, I was wondering a few things, but she kind of pours into the top of the thermos flask, which serves as a cup, pours some of the coffee and takes a sip. I was hoping if you could help me uh, with a few things, if you want to, that is, of course.
What would you like help with, Robin Clayray?
Well, first of all, if you would please just call me Robin, I would really appreciate it. And
Be Robin Ray.
without Araya, please. I mean, yeah, I don't feel very comfortable with that. And like I said before, I'm pretty sure you don't like it either. So
It's not a
just
question of liking. It's the order of the Truth Catcher of the Sept.
the order is that you're the Pax Omega.
Lower than name
Um,
station, so I should assume I should refer to you appropriately.
well, but if I don't like it, I see that happen a lot on this sept. I can just tell you to not do that, right?
If that's what you really want.
Yes, that
Robin.
is what I
Apologies.
really want. Thank you. So, um, I was, well, you probably know, I didn't know of the nation before my first change. So I'm doing some catching up basically. And well, since I'm born with Silverfang blood, I figured it would be really helpful if I learned something more about Silverfangs. Now, Jacob has told me a few things. Yeah, well, and I was hoping if you could tell me more or tell me some of the other things. Basically, tell me about the Silverfangs the way you see that they are, if you would.
I'm a maker of the Cub Pack. I'm quite sure your knowledge already surpasses mine.
I'm quite sure it doesn't, and you know that. Because, and as far as I understood, I didn't thought Silverfangs would be petty. I thought they showed the best example, or try to, at least. I think that's carrying your punishment. Or am I wrong?
I learn new things about the Silverfangs every day.
Well, would you be willing to share them with me?
Certainly. Would you like the version of the Silverfangs that I was brought up with? Or would you prefer the version that the Sept of the Green seems to hold to? They're very different, I assure you.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me your version first? I want to know your opinion about things, not the Sept of the Greens.
Certainly. The Silverfangs are a lineage of Garu who were chosen by Gaia to lead the nation. We are her noblest warriors, her most skilled theurges, her most wise philoloxes, her most ingenious ragabashes. And our galliards sing of the glories of our ancestors. We are a tribe of heroes and leaders. It is not that we are It is not that we are arrogant about this. It is just our place. It is our duty and our job. It is the very reason we exist. Every Silverfang carries a weight on his shoulders that other Garu cannot begin to understand. Every Garu has their place, and ours is as the nation's leaders. Not because we chose it, not because we want it to make it aggrandize ourselves, but because that is where Gaia has placed us.
Right. So, if that is the case, why do you think other tribes like the Shadow Lords or, well, any of the others sometimes try to disagree with us so much?
Us, we're not Silverfangs.
Mm,
It has been pointed out to me that I am not a Silverfang yet, and that I should not refer to myself as such.
right. I mean, than with the Silverfang tribe.
Well, my last interaction with a Shadow Lord began with a disagreement. I believe the Silverfangs have failed, and that his own tribe are the de facto rulers of the Gari nation. He seemed to imply that he corrects himself, the Silverfangs are somehow elitist fops who do not understand the reality of the war. When I offered that he should back up his claim, well, I believe you were there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Later on, in an act of petty revenge, Razvan tried to attack me from behind, snuck up on me. When I saw him, he lied, and then when I turned my back, he attacked.
He
In
did
this,
that?
he did. In this, he also failed,
Wow.
proving, I think, the attitude of the other tribes. They are opportunists and vultures, and entirely unsuited to command. When I was brought up in my father's sept, I was taught that some of the other fangs were loyal and dutiful, and fulfilled their place in the ecology of the Gari nation. However, since coming here, I learned this is not the case, and that without strong Silverfang leadership, as soon as we turn our backs, they will likely stab you in the back. Betraying Gaia, and betraying the place that they should have.
And how does that make you feel?
It makes me wonder why father sent me here. I was here to learn about the other tribes. Maybe it was supposed to be a hard lesson, to learn that they are not all obedient to the Silver King, to learn that they are self-aggrandizing and self-promoting, and that thousands of years of our ancestors leading the nation, being the heroes the Gari nation needed, doesn't matter, because some, for example Fatima, believes that the actions of our ancestors are inconsequential and that only her own actions matter.
Hmm.
They believe they are wiser than their ancestors, and therefore wiser than Gaia. They believe that they will make their own place. This people in this sept seem to believe that they know what is best for them better than Gaia does.
How how do they feel better than Gaia then? Because you spoke of the ancestors and how they did not appreciate them as much as you do.
Because Gaia has set a place for us.
Mm-hmm.
Our auspice is chosen by our birth. Our tribe is chosen by our lineage, and our tribe also chooses our duties to the nation. Others
What
seem
if
Here they seem to ignore this.
what if a person doesn't know his or her lineage?
Then they can find it out. Easy enough to do.
Hmm.
Besides, if you're some bloodless mongrel, you can still serve Gaia, become a bone gnawer. Everyone has their place, no matter how small.
Though I doubt if you tell them that in those exact words, I don't think they'll find it very inspiring.
Of course not. That's why I wouldn't,
Mm.
because their ego would get in the way.
Oh, Tony, can I ask a personal question?
You can ask away. I may not answer there.
You don't need to answer it if you don't want to, of course. You seem to be holding some sort of a grudge to all of us. I understand that this is not where you grew up. Mm, but I'm kind of wondering why you are angry.
I'm not angry.
I'm gonna go peony that shit.
Sure. I'll just grab dice roller.
Yeah, we're in Werewolf Dice Roller. I already had to roll something, so yeah. I mean, I probably won't be able to beat you with the pure blood involved as well.
I'm happy not to roll that, as I think it's kind of stupid. I will appearance etiquette.
I only have one success.
I have three. See, no, I have four.
Nice.
So you can, I mean, you can still believe what you like about Altani's answer, but there is no indication of him hiding anything. He just has this stonewalled expression on his face.
All right. So, what can you tell me about the tribal totem? Falcon, right?
Falcon
Mm-hmm.
is the noblest of totems. He soars high above the rest. He sees things the others cannot, and when he strikes, he is swift and pure. He is a worthy totem for us, for our tribe. Have you honored his shrine?
I've not visited his shrine yet.
If you wish to be one of Falcon's brood, I would think that would be appropriate.
I agree. Yeah. Could you show it to me?
If you would like.
If you would like.
You should also honor Eagle. The Silverfang tribe is divided into houses.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of them claims certain territory and certain purviews. Your lineage, I believe, if you are related to Clay Raya, then you are of House Wormfoe, which would mean Eagle is your house totem. You should honor him.
And how do I best honor Falcon and Eagle?
Falcon demands you act with honor. Demands that you act with purity in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And Eagle demands that you display the skulls of your slain enemies.
Oh, whoa. Okay, that might be a bit more difficult as I don't think I have slain any enemies.
I'm sure you could find one.
Are you saying that I should go and find enemies?
Maybe you're a cub, but I'm sure you could ask Clayray. I'm sure he does it regularly.
I will ask him.
We're in the middle of a worm scar. I'm sure you could quite easily find one that Gaia violates Gaia's true order.
And how about you then? You're not of House Wormfoe, right?
No,
Which totem does your house belong to?
I'm a member of House Blood Red Crest, and we honor Merlin.
Merlin.
He is the smallest of the brood of Falcon, but he is also known as the most cunning, the most ingenious, and the bravest. Merlin teaches us that no matter your size, no matter the size of the enemy, you should fight against him. Indeed, he empowers us when we fight enemies much more powerful than ourselves. A fitting totem for my tribe. seeing as our numbers have dwindled over the last few years.
Your tribe?
My house, sorry.
Dwindled. How come? Have there been many enemies?
Altani pauses slightly, realizing that she doesn't know about the curse on House Bloodred Crest. You should ask Jacob about that. I prefer not to talk about it.
I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
If you have offended me, it hardly matters. I'm the Omega of the Pack.
It may not matter in the great scheme of things, but it does matter to me. Actually, 10 Point Raya has told me about the job of an Omega. Sounds very difficult. Especially for us. And I think for you.
The truth is, I haven't had to properly be an Omega. The other Cubs don't even really seem to know what it means. The Gyro on this set seem to despise the use of traditional honorifics. So I've not really had much opportunity. The only thing is, so far, is a slight to my honor.
Why would you see it as a slight to your honor?
Because it's proof that I have failed. My first action coming here was failing.
I don't think I really agree with that. It shows that you made an error. But I think if you truly failed, you would be dead. As long as you're alive, you don't fail. As long as you're alive, you make errors, some minor, some grave. And
You think like a human.
well, perhaps I do. I am human.
Living
Well,
is irrelevant. The only tribe that strives to live is the Bone Gnawers, and they are the least of us. If survival is the only thing you can aim for, then you've already failed. We are
there's
Garu. We don't.
there's
Surviving is not relevant. Whether we survive, live, or die, that is up to Gaia to decide, not us. Our
I
job is to fight.
well, of course that's our job, but I think being alive is a very important part of being able to fulfill that.
It
And I
is
think
one
there's a
aspect.
huge difference between living and surviving. Surviving isn't living, it's just passing by, trying to grab hold of whatever you can. Living, being able to pursue your goals, being
Your
able
goals.
to pursue the goals of your goals, your tribal goals, your goals of your nation, whatever you want, they are still your goals. If you choose to make the goals of the nation your own, that is very commendable, but they
You
are
don't
then become
choose.
your goals.
You don't choose. You're born to it. You don't choose to make a Gaia's goals your goals. They are your goals, whether you want them to be or not. And if you betray that, you're no better than a Ronin. And you can tell Avtani is getting visibly angry.
I mean, even within those goals, you can choose your direction. Some choose to fight straightforward, attacking, Like,
You can muddy the waters with strategy all you like.
I, I'm not.
Doesn't change that your opinion seems to be one that many people have here. That
Or maybe
somehow we've.
because many of us are homids or even human born.
I'm Hamid.
Yeah, but you grew up very differently than I did.
I imagine so.
And I'm trying to learn. That's why I'm coming to you. But
Okay, Robin, I'll tell you something. You asked why I'm angry earlier, and why I'm angry at everyone here.
yeah,
I'm not angry at everyone here. I'm angry at myself because I failed. Because the truth is, Bone Gnawers, Metis, the rest of them here, they have a job to do. But they're not held to the same standards. My first action here, I'm in this Bone Gnawer sept, among cubs, was to a failure of judgment in the challenge. That was my first action. So how can I, as a claim to be a silver fang, claim to be above them, claim to lead them, when I haven't displayed that? Silver fangs lead by divine right, but we have to prove that we're worthy of it. We have a
yes,
duty to, and I haven't done that.
because you made an error. Did you know how to read and write when you were young?
Of course not.
Did you know the litany when you were 2 years old?
I'm not 2 years old.
I'm not
I've been
saying you
trained to
are.
be a gyro my entire life.
Yes, and you made an error in judgment. I understand that for a Philodox that is a graver error than perhaps for me as a Galliard. But you are a cub. Being a cub means that you learn, that you can make these mistakes. You don't have to be perfect immediately. No one expects that of you. And I think
Yes, they
coming
do.
in a different, no, not maybe where you were from, but that's a different place with different values, a different sept altogether, different people. I think especially with a culture shock like that, it makes sense that you make an error. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's everything wrong with it.
Why is it so wrong for you?
Because I have to be the best. Because one day, not too far from now, I will be leading my house.
Yes. And
And I
when
can't
it's
afford to make that sort of mistakes. How you say you've only known about the nation for what? A month? Month and a half?
less,
Less. I have been tutored by some of the best Garu the nation has to offer. Elder Galliards have sung me the stories of my ancestors. The most sublime philodoxes have debated the litany in front of me, forced me to take different sides and understand the different reasoning behind it. I've been trained in Claviskar by some of our nation's heroes, my own father. And yet I
well,
come here, and the first thing I do is effectively get two people killed. And the next thing that I do is prompt that fucking Shadow Lord to humiliate himself. And God knows, dies in combat a week later. So you might say, no one expects anything of me. Everyone expects everything of me. My house is dying. There have been half a dozen cubs born since I was. So, of course, I need to be the best. And of course, there's no room for failure. Because if I fail and I can't lead my house to where it needs to be, then we won't exist. Millennia of Garu lineage, of leadership, of noble ancestry will cease to exist because of me if I can't get this fucking right.
That must be a terrible burden to bear.
In a way. And in a way, it is refreshing to know that I have my place. It must be so terrible to be a Garu of this sept and not know where your place is.
I don't think many of us would agree with you. A lot of human, well, United States culture believes in creating your own destiny, and I think many find it suits them. I understand how it can be seen as a struggle between the wishes of the nation and Gaia and our own wishes, but I think it blends out together. How guilty do you feel?
For what? So obvious he's just trying to avoid the question.
There's that much to talk about it?
It doesn't matter how I feel
It
about it.
does.
Does it?
Oh, it does matter.
It doesn't?
It does.
In what way? Personal feelings are irrelevant.
No, but in order for the nation to work together, for us to work together as a pack, it is important that we understand each other and we support each other. And Tenpoint told me that when she, as an Omega of a pack, feels bad or feels down, the pack is there to support her. So I think you are feeling terrible and down. So I want to support you. Because you may become a silver fang when you're no longer a cub. You'll turn out to be this great leader. But I've also heard that a lone wolf dies. And if you're standing that far away from everyone, I don't know if you would be able to fulfill your duty like you want to. You're already trying to stand alone. You feel isolated. You feel like no one here understands you or ignores what you say and ignores your reasoning. And you feel guilty for killing 2 people, perhaps even 3, as you say. All these things, you must feel terrible.
Is that all Robin clear? Can I go?
No, I want an answer.
About whether I feel guilty?
I want to talk to you. To you.
Before you said I didn't have to answer questions or I didn't want to.
No, this is true. You're right, I said that. And I should have said that just now as well. if you don't want to answer, if you really wish to go, then sure, yeah, I won't stop you. But if you would like to talk, maybe not now, maybe in a week or a month or whenever, please, I would like it if we would be able to talk.
Now Tani turns and leaves.
Yep. And Robin watches him leave and we'll go and find this shrine of Falcon that he was talking about. And yeah, it's there that we will end the scene. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This was another scene for Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.